Hi, I'm Katie from Rain or Shine Gardening, and welcome back today. Today is the start of another project here in my garden. I am over on the side of my house in my working garden area. You can see kind of the side of my house here and the corner of my potting bench. I had a project where I refinished that and kind of organized it a little bit earlier in the season after that spring rush came through and kind of got everything cluttered. So we got that stained and fixed up. And today you will see this purple kind of faded door behind me. That's a door that leads into our garage. We access it frequently. We painted it when we moved in and painted the rest of the house. But as you can see, because this side of the house gets so much hot sun, hot direct sun, it definitely needs a repainting. And I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, I could just paint it our trim color and get a nice protective coat on there. But then I was thinking more and I was like, oh, this is right in the area where I like to do a lot of projects where it's not really visible from the road, but I see it a lot because I'm over here on the side of my yard where my pop-up greenhouse is or my potting bench is, and I do a lot of work over here. So I thought how fun to do some sort of mural or design on the door instead of just painting it plain. So that's what I'm going to be working on and take you along with me on is my journey to paint my door and get a fun design on it. And my husband has a cousin who has been posting frequently on Instagram about painting some walls in bathrooms and in other living areas. And she's been doing some really neat designs by hand painting. And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, is there any way that you would be interested in helping me? I've got this idea for a project. And she said, absolutely yes, like right away. I was so happy to find somebody to get some help with this on as well. So, yeah, this project, we're going to be sanding the door down, doing a coat of a nice primer base. And then we're going to get into doing some stenciling and then some painting. And since this is a really direct sun area of the house, we'll probably be putting up a little bit of a shade tent. But before all of that, I'm going to start by kind of clearing out this side. It's an area that things just kind of accumulate. We've got some extra pieces of treated lumber we've used for other projects and things around. So I'm going to go through that, make sure to clear it out and give us a lot of space to work in. And then I'll take you along with our mural project for my side door in my garden working area. And here it is, pretty much our final product now of my side door paint mural project. Um, yeah, it's been a few weeks now since I recorded the intro and we got things started with the door. We had a bit of a delay because we had some unexpected rain happen, which makes it a little bit difficult to paint outdoors. So we had to reschedule and kind of delay a couple things, but really happy with how this turned out. It's pretty amazing to see the before and the after. So I'll pop in just a reminder of what the door looked like beforehand. We had painted it purple back 10 years ago or so when we moved into our house. The side of the house in my working garden area gets full sun, so it definitely had kind of a beat down of that UV rays and that full sun on this side, and it really needed to be sanded down and repainted. And I decided, instead of just repainting it a solid color, to make it into something beautiful with some flowers. So I was really inspired by Swan Island Dahlias, who recently did a beautiful mural at their location. They are open for their Dahlia Festival right now. So if you haven't checked that out, you have to, if you're local to the Salem, Portland, Canby area here in Oregon. You have to go check out Swan Island Dahlias. It's a really beautiful place to visit this time of year with all their flowers blooming. But they have a beautiful mural that they did there by a professional painter. Obviously, not setting my standards that high since I'm not a professional. But instead of painting it just a solid color, I did decide to add something in that's fun. This is my working garden. This is where I get a lot of inspiration for putting together my bouquets, for doing projects, for repotting, for planting. This is where I keep all of my plants that I purchase before I'm ready to plant them out in my landscape. So I thought this side of the house, since it's kind of like my little garden area, my working area, I would create something fun. So, as you can see, the mural behind me, it does have my Rain or Shine Gardening logo in the top corner, and then it has a mix of some zinnias down below and some dahlias in the other area. And I had the pleasure of having a family member come help me out. So, my dear friend and family member, Haley, came to help me with some of the painting. So, you'll see her in some of my time lapse video um, as well, or you might have noticed in some of the time lapse video. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without her. She is definitely a lot more skilled than I am in painting. I was inspired by her as well because recently she did a bunch of painting projects where she kind of created her own hand painted wallpaper, minus the paper, but just being paint, some patterns that she did, and shared that on Instagram. And then she did some really pretty wall paintings and things too. So I reached out to her and said, "Hey, I got this idea for my door. Would you be willing to help me out?" And she so graciously said yes. And that's why we had to delay a little bit too of getting some of the painting done, because we had to coordinate our schedules and try to find a day where it wasn't supposed to rain or there was no rain on the forecast. So she was able to come up and help me out with a bunch of the painting. She did the bee completely. So it looks amazing. I love the bee. We decided to name it Beatrice. So that's Beatrice the Bee on the door. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how it turned out. Um, just to kind of talk through what you saw in the time lapse. Also, we started out by cleaning the door, and then we did a sand down of the door to kind of get some of that old paint that was kind of crusty by the UV rays, to sand that off. And then we blew that off with our yard leaf blower, and then wiped it down with kind of a damp cloth and let that dry completely. I did do a gray primer on top of the purple, so we had a nice, even, clean surface to be painting on. I also wanted to make sure that that old paint wasn't going to be, chipping off, so sanding it and prepping it with a primer was really important. And we kind of had to mask that off so it didn't get on the trim or on the house paint. And the paint that I ended up using for the flowers and the bee and the things that we hand painted on there is called a patio paint, and it's made for outdoors. So it's not just an acrylic, it is an outdoor acrylic. And I wanted to make sure to get something that was rated for outdoor just because this gets such a hot area of our sun in the afternoon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll hold up to the weather for quite a few years. I do have something on order to do a clear coat that's made for outdoors as well, just because I want to make sure to protect this. It was a lot of work and I love it and I don't want it to get destroyed by the weather. So we are going to do a clear coat on top of it. But I encourage you to, if you're interested in kind of sprucing up, maybe you have like cinder block raised bed planters or a side door similar to I have, or maybe even you want to paint on a piece of wood and hang it up as outdoor art or something. Just encourage you to get creative and bring some happiness and joy into your garden space as well. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm going to leave you with some video of the door, and rain or shine, we'll see you next time.